Hello and welcome to another episode of Mystique Femininity. I am super thrilled to bring you this episode entitled The Feminine Rituals, Daily Practices for Your Divine Connection. The reason why I'm super excited about this particular episode, we all know the things that we do on a daily basis is what makes us who we are. And what we do on a daily basis is how we're able to pivot our lives. In this journey towards discovering your beauty and your power comes from your feminine rituals. As a woman, embracing these rituals will honor your divine feminine energy, which will be transformative, restorative. It's going to offer you a lot of grounding, clarity, and a very deep, almost bordering sensual connection with yourself. In today's fast-moving world, all the things that are going on in this world, it is monumental for us to set aside time for meaningful practices that is like giving yourself a really wonderful gift, a moment of peace and alignment. When you are aligned, you are moving through life fluidly. That means you're able to move from a place more efficiently, more effectively, more dynamically, and really get the opportunity to enjoy your life. It is something that is often ignored. We're so go in this world. If we want everything instantaneous, it's disappear for 6 months and come back new. All these things of wanting, essentially in essence, a instant gratification. But the way life is, the way this 3D reality is, which is very dense, which means things can be a lot slower, we need to make sure that we're operating out of a aligned way. Like, think of your chakras, all of them aligned, all of them moving in the way that they should move. It just makes everything more fluidly. This makes it to where you're not having to chase. You really truly can be in flow, leaning into your femininity and actually attract. So we're going to dive into some areas that I really do hope you're able to take today and begin using those in your life. Now, first and foremost, why is this important to have a daily rituals? Daily rituals aren't just routines. They're sacred acts of self-love that ground and center our feminine energy. When we engage in intentional rituals, we give ourselves space to reflect, connect, and honor the divine feminine within us. This is extremely important because when we are the source of our lives. We are the ones who create the reality. We're co-creating with the universe. If we're not doing our part, if we're not co-creating, then we're not getting what we want. We don't get to see it because it takes a two to tango. So we have to put in, therefore the universe can put in. But if we're not putting in anything, we're not getting anything back. And what we are getting is a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, basically emotions and things that keep us tethered to this particular reality and prohibits us from actually enjoying the life that we want. So the way you start your day is important. I will use my life throughout this particular episode of how things go when you do things in a great way and when you don't go a way that is most optimal. Not from a place of judgment, but from a place of this isn't the best way that we can maneuver. So being in a corporate position, constantly on the go, I'm often, as soon as I open my eyes, the first thing I do and touch is my phone. And it has taken a long time and it's something I'm still working on. But when I wake up, get up, breathe, stretch, drink some water, take care of my skin, take care of things that are going to nurture myself before I am nurturing anybody else. One thing that if you don't take anything else away from this podcast, I really want you to understand. Women who are going and flowing from their feminine energy, however that expression is, You are to give from your sense of abundance, your overflow, not from your minimum. When you move from a place of the minimum, like you're giving away what you truly need, you are being extremely selfish and you're harming yourself and those around you. Now, you may be wondering, Mystique, what do you mean? How is this hurting others and myself? When you don't take care of you, you don't pour into you, and you're giving. And in our society, unfortunately, the notion of giving and overgiving is applauded, especially for women. Those that are women, born women, it is often touted as our value to overextend, to overgive, and there to be nothing for ourselves, and that is to be honorable. But what that does breed is resentment and anger, and often anger and resentment are suppressed because our society does not like that from a woman being. So by giving yourself your first fruits of your labor, pouring back into you, pouring back into the mirror image of the divine feminine, you are honoring yourself, you're honoring the divine, and therefore you're able to then give from abundance, and you can give freely. You can be generous when you're giving from a sense of fullness versus the lack. Because when you're giving from a place of scarcity, anger, you're not giving your best, which means the fruits that you're watering are not going to sustain and they're not going to flourish at the level that they could be. So things that you can do first thing you get up, it could be some breath work, it could be journaling. In the evenings when you're preparing to go to sleep, reflecting on the day, what went well, what are you able to give gratitude for, even if it is the smallest thing. There are often days when I wrap up for the day that the day was a blitz, it was hard, it was aggravating, and I will find something, even if it's just I had tea today and the tea was wonderful, it was the right temperature, the right level of sweetness, and if nothing more, that is something to give gratitude for. Even if it's just being able to breathe, having the ability to even write, just the smallest things helps to shift our minds in the way that we want to be most aligned. These practices of starting your day, ending your day with a sense of gratitude and alignment will give you bountifulness in your life. Now, how you can actually start to see these in your daily morning and evening rituals and how this aligns for you. There's something really magical about starting and ending your day with intention. Intention. Morning rituals will allow you to start your day calm, focused, and spiritually grounded. Your evening rituals, on the other hand, help you to release that day's energy, process your experiences, and unwind. As I'm saying this, I am getting a visual of the moon cycles. We have a new moon and we have a full moon. Our new moon is going to be your morning. It's the day's beginning. It's the start of a fresh start, new beginnings. And your full moon is that of release, that of doing away with, unpacking, reflecting, and releasing. And this is important in how you navigate your day. I look at the morning ritual as the ability to be at, let's just say a level of 100. Now, if you start out at a level of 100, and as you go through the day, little things nick you, people are aggressive, people giving you the, evil eye, people are shooting daggers, all the things, maybe you're a little tired, like all those things happen. So now you may drop down to a 70. But if you did not start at 100, and let's say you started out at 70, you went down from 100 to 70. So that's 30 that you went down. If you're starting at 70 and you drop down to another 30, like you are not in a good place. And if you're not filling your cup, that means each day that level is lower and lower. And this is what we see nowadays of women being very burnt out. They're lacking their creativity. They're lacking joy. They're lacking that juiciness of the sacral, and therefore causing a lot of struggle and frustration. Now, ways that you can beautify the day and setting your intentions. You can do some affirmations in the mirror. So that's kind of your mirror working. You can do your gratitude. And in the evening time, your ritual doesn't need to look the same. You can do things like taking a soothing bath and looking at the water as cleansing you. You can use your crystals. Like I have incorporated using selenite as a way to cleanse my energy in the day and in the mornings, actually, just to make sure everything has been pulled out and everything's on a clean slate. But these practices can be very simple. They can be as complex as you want them to be, but they need to make them yours. They need to be something that you do on a consistent basis, because this is what's going to keep you fueled. Look at these rituals as your nourishment. You eat every day, so you want to do the same thing for your spiritual pursuits as well. And now moving on to continuing our journey and creating feminine rituals. Creating a sacred space in your home is paramount in cultivating and inviting these rituals to be consistent. So imagine having a space in your home that feels like a sanctuary, a sacred space that all is yours and everything is tailored to your needs, where you can go to recharge, connect with the divine. Now, creating the space doesn't have to be complicated. It does not require you to blow out a wall and create another room. It can be literally a corner. It could be a section of your couch. You can get as creative as you want to. You can make things like a small altar. You could use your windowsill with candles, with crystals, your journal, like you name it. Some people, if they want, you could create a whole room that is essentially like your sanctuary, and this place is consecrated for the sole purpose of doing your rituals every day. There is something in the flow of a space. Like when you go to the grocery store, you're going to get groceries. If you're going to your favorite beauty place, you're typically going for a particular purpose. And I know I mentioned this in the top of this podcast, but intention focus. And so that is the name of the game when you're creating your sacred space, is the intention. So it's like, okay, when I come into this space, even if it's just a corner in my room, when I'm sitting in this particular spot, my focus is away from the outside world. It is away from the noise. It's away from the technology that's always after my attention. It is fully for me to focus and call all my energy back to me in order for me to be calm. And it's important to be able to have that, and keeping that area clean, keeping it comfortable, maybe purchasing, if you're doing your meditations, purchasing a pillow that you can sit on that's going to be comfortable, especially as we get into cooler months. But everything just wants to keep a focus of keeping this space for your rituals, and allows you to just continue to pour into yourself. Now, as you're going through your journey of creating these rituals, keeping a focus on about being mindful and integrating your mindfulness into your practice. It is important for you as a woman, a divine feminine being, to be very aware of your thoughts. I always look at thoughts as water. So our thoughts waters our lives, and our thoughts are what produce the reality that we live in. So it always goes from a thought to action, and then the action produces our reality. So if you are aware of your thoughts, you're able to snatch out anything that is not desirable. And you do that from a place of love, compassion, and understanding of self, not from a place of judgment, but being able to meet your own self and looking at that thought and figuring out why you had the thought, and then being able to release it. And there'll be some thoughts that you'll see continuously that'll come. And as you're developing your rituals and you're developing your craft of being in alignment with the divine, you can allow those thoughts to just pass like clouds in the sky. You don't need to clinch to them. You don't need to hold on to them. I am one that does believe in unpacking certain thoughts and things, but after you've done that process, they may return. And if so, allow them just to fade and flow and keep it moving. But being aware of your thoughts is going to be very, very helpful to help you stay present. Because oftentimes in our world, we are bombarded with a lot of different things that are grasping for our attention. And often, if we're not in a happy place, we then will dissociate. Because we don't want to be where we are. We don't want to be in our bodies. We don't want to be in our minds. And that leaves us open to just a lot of like junk thoughts. And this isn't from a place of judgment, but these are thoughts that are just not for your highest good. And you're not able to be present because you don't want to be there. And it can be very tiresome. So if you're able to focus your attention on what it is that you're thinking, keeping that in attention with your meditations, everything can be a meditation. I know when we think of meditations, we think of a girl who is sitting with herself in Indian style, and she has her, there's like a certain pose that goes with that meditation. That doesn't have to be. There are people out there, especially women, who sitting and being on the floor is not going to be very meditative. They're not going to be able to be in their bodies enough. Anything that you do with intention and a focus of a ritual can be meditation. It could be watering your plants. It can be creating a cup of tea. You do not have to do meditation from this very rigid, narrow, linear, aka hypermasculine, not from a negative space, but from just looking at it for what it is. You can do it from a more fluid, softer, creative way. So that again could be your journaling. It could be your breath work. It can be a lot of different things. And I would urge you to try different things and find what things make you happy. Like when you do it, you're excited to do it again. And if it's something where you feel a lot of resistance to it, that could be an indicator that, hey, this doesn't align for me. For myself, sitting in meditative states, I find that I do this when I am focused on something I really want to do. So when I am writing, when I am creating this podcast, actually, there's often times that I can just go into a very in my body, like I'm very embodied, and I can hear from the divine, and I'm able to speak those things. I'm able to write those out and then take action on it after having that meditation space. Now, as you are creating and developing your very personalized rituals, one of the most beautiful things about it is that it's yours. It's personal. You can explore all the things that are out there, and this is your spiritual path. It is very trendy to, grab a book and try to replicate what is in a book. And there was a time in my life in which I did so as well. And it took a while for me to just acknowledge that everything isn't for everybody. And the best things that you can do is take those things that are working, that you do see that lights you up, and do more of those things. Sounds super cliche, but when you are in this embarking of your journey, it is important for you to own and acknowledge your true voice what feels good to you, but also what doesn't feel great. This is also a wonderful part of the journey of developing your spiritual path, developing your connection with the divine. And as you continue to invest the time, the energy, and seeing yourself grow and flourish, it will make you want to do more. It will be super automatic. All things in your reality are based off the habits that you continuously do. Some of our habits are very much life producing. Some of our habits are life reducing. Being aware of the two and being able to take full power in knowing what it is that's going on is what is going to allow you to grow into your strength in understanding the divine. As I close out for the day, I really want you to take heed that your reality is your business. You being able to connect with the divine is important if you desire to live a life that is refreshing, that is filling, that is nourishing, because you deserve that. You deserve to live a life. You didn't come on this planet into this 3D reality to just take up space, just to be in utter chaos at all times. It is sometimes uncomfortable. It can feel like it's a lot. It's overwhelming. But with anything, as you put time, you put energy into it, you will then see the fruits of your labor, and it will take time. One thing that came from the divine in my meditation here recently is that we often discount what is happening to us in our growth, because in the divine, it is subtle, it is quiet. And in our world, the things that are loud and blaring, that is what keeps our attention, because it's so loud. It's so in your face. But the divine feminine is soft, it's fluid, it's very subtle. And the same happens with the changes that are being made on the spiritual levels. They're subtle. And if you're not aware, you will say there's nothing growing. It's like planting a seed. You water it, give it appropriate sun, and you wait. But in your waiting, you're still being the consistent. You're still showing up for yourself every day. And as you continue to show up for yourself, you'll start to see the buddings. And then eventually you'll see a full flower that blooms. And it's beautiful, it's delightful. It gives beauty to all that sees it and embarks on it. And that is you. By putting forth the energy for your rituals, you are showing yourself that you are deserving, that you are worth the effort. And this will then spread across all forms of your life, every path. It will feel uncomfortable. You may have doubts. You may feel it's pointless. You may feel, well, my life is this, and I have these things. We all adapt. Make sure that now that you're adapting, make sure that you're adapting to things that are by your power, not due to the outside world's forcing of adaptation. I hope that this episode was very helpful. If you're new, subscribe. You know you want information like this. You want the tea, and I'm here to give it to you. And if you are a return listener, thank you for listening. And until next time, make sure you're continuing to flourish.